Okay, so now I want to take time to go over assignment number 2, give you a good overview so you know exactly what is required for the assignment, which to me are like, if you would, application problems. So if we look at assignment number 2, click on it, you'll notice that we have a number of problems here. We already kind of briefly looked at this, but we're going to take time to look at this over again. You'll notice that for the first 6 problems, you need to have the mobility calculations as part of them. And then the ones that we see down here, you don't have to worry about those. So let's look first at the problems that we have, starting with 4, 5 at the end of our chapter. Okay, so this is going to start on page 101. You'll notice that we have problem number 4, 5, and 4, 6. These are both going to utilize the same diagram that we see right here. The starting position is exactly what you see drawn. So you're going to draw this in its starting position, but it's the same diagram for both 4, 5, and 4, 6. For 4, 5, you are going to move from the original position here at 30 degrees. You're going to move the crank 90 degrees counterclockwise. You are not going to show it going straight up and down. Don't show it going to 90 degrees. You're going to go 90 degrees from where it's at. So that crank is going to be over here, making a 90-degree angle to what is 30 right now. Does that make sense? Okay. So you're going in that direction. Then you're going to dimension how far, what the displacement is of the piston to its new position. Okay. Then starting back at the original diagram for 4, 6, you're now going to move 120 degrees clockwise. So you're going to go 120 in this direction, and then you're going to, again, measure what the displacement was from the original position that we started at here. Okay. That's the first 2 problems. And again, for both of these, you're not only doing the diagrams, but you're also doing the mobility equations for each. You should get 1 for all of these, but it's a good verification that you have the correct number of links identified as well as the number of joints. Okay. All right. Turning the page. The next 2 problems you're going to be doing are going to be number 4, 7 and 4, 8. They, again, are going to utilize the same diagram in the middle. So this is your start position, and then you're going to move the crank 100 degrees clockwise. So 100 degrees clockwise, the crank right now is at a 50-degree angle. As we can see here, here's the crank, okay? You're going to move this clockwise 100 degrees from that position, okay? And then you're going to measure from where this is at here, how far did that blade go up, okay? Utilizing the same start diagram, you're now going to do 4, 8. Now, 4, 8 is a little different. It wants you to reposition the blade to be lowered 0.2 from where it's at. So you're going to start with this as your home, and you're going to move the blade down 0.2 inches. When you do that, you're going to reposition the links, if you would, backwards, and you're going to find out how far did that crank move angularly. This is an angular displacement because now remember, it's fixed around that center and it's going to be an angle that you measure, not a distance. Okay. So that's 4, 7 and 4, 8. And then 4, 13 and 14, you're going to be using this diagram that you see here, okay? The rock crushing diagram, and you're going to reposition from this, if you would, home position. The first one, you're going to rotate the crank 30 degrees clockwise. Here's your crank over here. It's identifying it for you. And then in the second one, you're going to reposition the link so that the crank rotates 150 degrees counterclockwise, right? And then you're going to measure the angular displacement that your crushing ram makes in each case. So again, angular displacement is going to be degrees, not linear displacement. So those are the first 6 problems with mobility calculations for each. Then the next problems that you have are going to be 56, 57, and 58. We turn the page a couple times, okay? We're going to go to page 106. And in this section right here, it's called limiting positions graphical. For 56, you're going to graphically position the lengths of the compressor mechanism. You did that compressor mechanism in 4, 5, and 4, 6, and 4, 6. Okay, it's the first two that you did. So you're going to take that and you're going to find what is the furthest out point and what is the closest point. Okay, so if we look back over here to page 101, you're going to lay this down so that this is all in line. What's the furthest point out here? And then you're going to find out what's the furthest point here. So, and then really what the resulting stroke is. What is the difference between this and this? Make sense? Okay, so that's 56. You already drew that diagram, so you can, start from there. You don't have to start over. Then for 57, this is going to be graphically position the links of the shearing mechanism. Oh, that sounds familiar. That's 4, 7, and 4, 8. And you want to find the highest point of the blade, how high it's going to go, and how low it's going to go. So that's going to be this one. Okay. Oh, hi, Mike. Sorry, I am. Oh, okay. All right. I'll come out in a couple minutes. I'm not here tomorrow. I'm only here today. So next week. Oh, no problem, Mike. Thank you. Thank you. You too. Okay. So then here, what's going to happen is, you're going to find out how high this is going to go and how low that's going to go and what the stroke would be of those two. These first two problems are going to be like example 4, 5. Wait. No, I'm mad at myself. I knew, oh, no, 4, 6. These two are going to be like 4, 6. Okay. Where we found the highest and the lowest positions. These are sliding crank mechanisms. Okay. All right. So those are going to be like that first example. Then for problem number 58, okay, we are then going to be finding the limiting positions for the crushing ram. So in this case, how far out that crushing ram is going to go and how close that's going to go. Now, since this has a fixed center, this is going to be an angular displacement from the furthest to the closest. This is going to be like that nozzle, that car wash nozzle that we did, okay, which was 4, 7, okay. And then the last problem that you have, okay, is going to be 470. Sorry, 470. 470 is on page 107, and it is a displacement diagram for the compressor mechanism shown in figure 4.5. That's the first problem that you do in this section. And you want to graphically find or do the displacement diagram. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to use the Excel spreadsheet to assist you, okay? So if I go back to my Excel spreadsheet, I'm going to use the information to put in the length of link number 2 from that mechanism for problem 4.5. And then I'm going to do the length of link number 3. And it's going to create everything here for you. It's going to fill in the numbers. It's going to create the displacement diagram, and it's going to calculate your stroke. So that's kind of like the numbers, right? That's going to do it for you. But then what you're going to do is you're going to do what we did in our example 411, and you're going to draw the positions. So I have in this assignment, you'll notice that you're going to use the spreadsheet, but then you're going to do the positions of 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, and 180. Okay, so every 30 degrees, if you would, instead of 45. And then you are going to be attaching the Excel spreadsheet with the numbers. Does that make sense? Okay, so you're going to go back to Excel here. You're going to change these. You're going to save this as whatever you want to save it as, example 470, but make sure you put your name on it, because when I download it, because I have to download the files themselves to check them, it has to be a different than what the previous person did. So for instance, Steve, you can put example 470 SS or something like that. Okay. Just something that it makes it so that it's yours. So when I have to download it and look at it, it's not going over the previous students that I did. Does that make Is that helpful? Okay. All right. So for that last one, make sure that you add the actual Excel spreadsheet so I can check the numbers here, not just a screenshot. Otherwise, it would be like 3 screenshots because it's kind of a lot. And I figured just do the file, then I can be sure that everything is good. Now, that is the assignment. Are there any questions at the moment? You're going to notice here that I do have final answers here for pretty much all of the values that you have. So all of these are just the final answers. If you don't get the final answers, then something in the setup wasn't quite right. Okay, so at least you'll know. So once you get things to match up, then you can move on and you know it's okay. Or ask questions. Let me know you weren't able to get something going. So so then you would ask for some assistance if you need it. Okay. So those are there. So with that, that's everything that I wanted to cover today. All right. And what I'm going to do then is I'll stop the recording here.